Hey guys, thank you so much for stopping by the garden today. I just wanted to come on and do this little update on my jades because they have been really taking off. You can see all this new growth up top. We have 2 tops on here, 3 tops actually right here. This is one plant. This is one jade plant. You can see that stalk on the bottom. This is another jade plant, this little center right here. So these are all part of the same jade right here. This is clumping really nice, and I want to do this video because we changed houses. We moved to the new house, and these have been in a little bit more sun than they got in the other house, and I knew they'd be okay because I acclimated them really slowly, and they were getting about 5 hours of sun at the last house, but it wasn't enough. And you can see what I mean because they're starting to clump a lot up here. We have 2 sets up here, 1, 2, another one right here. We have all kinds of heads on here. So this is happening because we gave it a little bit more sun. You can see where I cut a little cutting off, and we're starting to get another little branch coming out. I have other succulents in here with them. These are just calicoes, which are starting to grow babies as well, all in the bottom, you can see. And I wanted to do this little update for you guys because these were rotted out on me really bad about a year ago. So they've been growing almost a year now from that root rot. We fixed these a lot, and I want to do a video for you eventually here. I know we'll probably get some plants to rot out, and if we don't, I want to do a video kind of step by step on how I fix that, because this is what we got from that. And it's really tough to, you know, it's easy to get discouraged, but it can be tough to fix things. You just got to stick with it, you guys, and have the patience with succulents. If you just leave them dry after you get some rot and you cut that off by the stem, you know, say if you have some rot creeping up into the stem here, then you just cut until you don't see that rot anymore. And then once you get some nice healthy stem, you pluck the leaves off on the bottom so you have some roots to grow where these leaf nodes were, and then leave a nice head on it. And then you can go ahead and plant it in some dry succulent soil after you let that end callus harden over. That piece that you cut is going to harden over a little bit, and it's going to take longer if that stem is thicker. So the thicker the stem is, the longer that end will take to callus, which just means scab over. And then after that happens, usually after 3 or 4 days, I leave it upright in a cup or something because these tend to take shape. If you just leave them on the counter, they'll tend to curl up their stem. So I do leave them standing straight up because they will continue to grow. So I leave them in the same exact sun. And these I transferred from 5 hours of sun. Now they're getting about, I'd say, 6 to 8 hours of sun with a little afternoon break. And you can see they really like that. They're not too red. They're not getting sunburned. This was from me hitting it with my garden shears when I was cutting a little piece off of this. I was taking a cutting and my garden shears hit it. So that's not sunburn. We don't have sunburn anywhere. The tips aren't red yet. So usually these tips would line with like a red color if it's getting too much sun, and then the back sides of it will really get red. So if the back sides are turning like a deep red, you know that your regular jades, these are not a variegated jade type. These are regular green jades. So these require a little less light than a variegated type, which is like a white, yellow, green type red jade, which is a little variegated one. Hang on, let me grab it because I do have one. I want to show you the difference. So this is a variegated jade, and I know that this one can tolerate a lot more sun than that green jade. So this one I can give about 8 hours of sun to 10 hours of sun, and it's going to do okay. Although I do have it in 6 to 8 hours, and it's doing absolutely fine. You can see we have a bunch of new side growth coming out of it. This one's kind of slow growing on me, but ever since I transplanted it and put it in this new pot, you can see we have new growth starting from everywhere. So we have that new baby popping out right here, and that's what we want to see. So we're doing good. And that's just a variegated type. You can see it has nice pink undersides, but this is a regular green jade. So these will start getting that red tint to the leaves, which is okay. If you see that, it's pretty, and it means that you're stressing your plant a little bit, and it's getting the right amount of sun it needs. Stressing the plant too much is no good. So if those back sides of the leaves are turning really red, you know that that's too much sun. We know that this is good because she's growing, she's clumping, and just keep an eye on your plants. You know, get to know your plants, get to know how they grow. And these bottom leaves are really plump. These jades are starting to come out of their growing season into dormancy because we're getting a lot cooler weather here. The nights are starting to get down to like 50s, 60s. The days are like 70s, so it's really nice here in Florida now. And these are starting to go dormant for me, so I won't have to water as much now in the winter time. As soon as these leaves start getting a little bit deflated and wrinkly at the bottom, and I know that they're not plump, then I go ahead and water. If they're exploded, mushy, cold feeling, that means you might have overwatered a little bit and they'll start turning a little bit yellow as well. These are nice and plump, so we don't need to water. You can see we're not wrinkling at all. The leaves are nice and plump and shiny, so we're good to go. And these are basically the same watering habits and growing habits as my jades. That's why I put them in the same container. And that's it, you guys. If you have any questions on this, just let me know. I'd love to help you in any way I can growing these jades. I know a lot of people have trouble with these because they really don't require too many frequent waterings. I let that soil dry out completely all the way to the bottom when it's actively growing during the summertime, and then I wait for them bottom leaves to get a little bit deflated and wrinkly, and then I go ahead and water. And after a few weeks of that, you'll get to know a little watering schedule. You'll get into the habit of saying, okay, well, I know I watered a week ago and it's winter, so I know I'm not going to have to water for like another 2 to 3 weeks. In the winter, I water these maybe once a month to once every 6 weeks. And then in the summer, it's like once a week to twice a week, depending how much sun and how dry and humid my climates are. If we have humid climates, my succulents are going to need a little less waterings because they're sucking in that humidity, the soil staying wet for a little longer. And I like to let them stay dry between the waterings because succulents like a little dry period on their roots. They don't like wet feet for too long. So if your soil is staying wet for longer than like 4 or 5 days, especially in a little container like the little variegated jade there, then you know that's way too long. This bigger container is going to dry out a lot slower than that little container right there, especially that little one's terracotta and this big one's a plastic pot. This is planted in both succulent soils. They are succulent cacti and citrus mix from Miracle-Gro with some added perlite in there, and then just some rock on top of that variegated jade. I'm going to start putting rock on all my plants, but we're going to transplant these in a really nice big ceramic container. We're going to find one at the store and we'll do that along with you guys. So if you have any questions on growing these, just let me know. I'd love to help you in any way I can. Propagation, root rot, stem rot, sunlight, waterings, just let me know. I'd love to help you guys. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day. Bye-bye.